On the evening of June 13th, 2023, explosions occurred in two neighborhoods in the metropolitan city Tianjin. According to an official announcement, the explosions damaged at least 26 homes, resulting in 3 deaths and multiple injuries. The two neighborhoods are referred to as Building 13 and 6. The video mainly shows Building 13. The residential building suffered heavy damage. It said fire and smoke broke out of a flat on the 3rd floor. The flat was annihilated, and the hallway as well as the fire escape was buried in rubble. The 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, and 5th floor are all blown up. I guess this building must be a dangerous building now. Look at this side, there's a big hole. The building has collapsed. The balcony is all blown, just one bang, it's gone. It's still exploding, do you hear it? It's still sounding explosive. Chinese media reported late that night on June 13th at about 10 p.m., Mr. Zhang, a resident of the neighborhood, said that around 8:10 p.m. he was at home when he suddenly heard 2 loud bangs. He opened the window and saw an explosion in Building 13. Smoke came out of the site. A few minutes later, he heard 3 loud bangs again. He went downstairs to Building 13 and found that the 4th to 6th floors of the building were badly damaged. The fire is fierce. Which floor is this happening? It looks like the 2nd or 3rd floor is on fire.
Look here, the sunroof of that Audi vehicle was blown out. Now the pipes on the 6th floor got destroyed as well.
The pipes on this floor were blown up and leaked. Water is all over. It would have been terrible if it were the gas pipe. What should we do? Gosh, there are still people inside the apartment. They're not out yet. Get out. Gosh, hurry up and leave. Life matters more. This home was damaged so badly that the ceiling was gone. There's nothing left. Is there anyone here? Is there anyone? Hurry up and leave. Life is what matters. Mr. Zhang said he saw paramedics carrying an injured man and a woman out of the building. Many occupants were affected by the explosion. Firefighters and ambulances were at the scene, and residents in the surrounding area started evacuating and were placed in surrounding hotels. The staff of the street office which this neighborhood belongs to said that they received frontline information showing that this accident was a gas explosion. 26 households were damaged and 34 people were evacuated. Initial assessments by firefighters pinpointed a family on the 3rd floor as the main explosion point. By the next day, the Tianjin police issued a notification. It said the explosion caused 3 deaths, multiple injuries, and several homes were damaged. Meanwhile, the suspect, a 46-year-old man surnamed Ma, was arrested. He was accused of using fireworks to commit the crime. This came as a big surprise to the public. Many people find it somewhat unbelievable because firecrackers can't be that powerful, and if they were, they would need to be in considerable quantities. In recent years, fireworks are supposed to be banned in China. How could such a large number of fireworks get in these two residential neighborhoods? People speculated that someone used fireworks as a detonator, or most likely the gas pipe was used as such. That explains why the explosion was so powerful, causing a number of deaths and injuries. Both neighborhoods have relatively old gas pipes, suffering from aging of various degrees. So far, the status of their inspection and repair is unclear. There's a gas leak. Hurry up and get out. The gas is leaking. It smells like gas. It smells like gas. Hurry up and leave. In addition, the 13th floor and 6th floor of the two neighborhoods are 1.5 kilometers apart. This led netizens to question, different floors of two different neighborhoods exploded within 10 minutes? How could one suspect manage to do this? How to make two neighborhoods simultaneously explode? Others raised doubts that the suspect remained safe and unharmed, which was odd. Generally speaking, whoever managed to create such an explosion is also prepared to perish with its intended target. A male resident of Building 6 told overseas Chinese media that ambulances and fire trucks were lined up at the time. He said, "Dozens of vehicles came, quite a number of people were injured, and they were sent to the military police hospital." The exact number of injuries isn't covered by the news. He also confirmed that the explosions occurred in two different locations and said, "The explosions were powerful and even the balconies were blown off. It's unclear whether it was done by one person or not." Online comments show people's distrust of various official claims. For example, if fireworks have such great power to kill, why bother to make bombs? In the future, manufacturers of fireworks are likely to be shut down. Some people said, the US side has no responsibility for this. All the responsibility lies on the American side. Others sensed hostility behind the explosions and speculated that some sort of injustice was involved. They wrote, "Injustice has its source. Don't take it out on innocent people. What's wrong with this society?" Others lamented that Chinese people aren't allowed guns, but it doesn't make people's homes any safer. Thus, they wrote, "The society won't be worse off if gun control is scrapped." Less than 20 days ago, on May 26, 2023, there was a massive explosion that was supposedly related to fireworks. It happened in a city not far from Tianjin. The location of this explosion was a bit unusual as it took place in a police station. According to official media, 4 people were killed, 2 missing, and 5 were injured. The victims were mostly police officers and police assistants. In the video, the obvious sound of a series of explosions can be heard. The scene is rolling with thick smoke and fire. Photos taken after open flames were extinguished show where the explosion occurred. The entire walls collapsed, indicating the tremendous power of the explosion. Local villagers told overseas Chinese media that there was a news blackout on the incident. Police would take away people's cell phones if they were caught filming. The day after the explosion, that is May 27th, the local government issued a low-key briefing saying that at about 1600 on May 26, when police were taking samples of fireworks suspected of being illegally traded for identification, an explosion happened in the police station. After preliminary verification, the accident involved 11 people. At present, 9 were rescued, including 5 being treated, 4 without vital signs, and 2 missing. The search and rescue is in full swing. This news seems to be about an accident at first glance, but one will notice something strange upon a closer look. The critical matter is the fireworks. It's common sense that when fireworks are accidentally ignited, it takes a bit for the explosion to happen. Generally speaking, it's highly unlikely for an immediate explosion to occur. If that's the case, the 11 people present should have had time to evacuate. But what actually happened at the scene was some sort of sudden explosion, leading to 11 people being instantly impacted. 4 fatalities and 5 injuries, not to mention 2 actually missing. Here the disappearance means the 2 people weren't found at the scene in the aftermath. In other words, the 2 were likely disintegrated by the blast. Such an explosive pattern is drastically different from what we know about firecrackers mishaps. Keep in mind that this is a police station and the fireworks seized are packaged finished products. It's not a manufacturer of fireworks who might have had a large stockpile of ready-made gunpowder that can lead to violent explosions. According to interviews and accounts by mainland Chinese media, reporters all confirm one thing. That is, the scene started with one violent explosion before a series of small, successive explosions. The second oddity lies in the official explanation that the explosion was an accident during fireworks sampling and identification. The work of fireworks identification should be the responsibility of the Safety Department and the Market Supervision Department as it falls within their functions. Police are responsible for investigating and punishing violations at most. It's not the job of the police to identify matters like fireworks, and even if they did perform the task, the quantity of fireworks wouldn't be big. So how would the explosion happen? In addition, according to mainland media reports, a reporter found a number of concerned families of the police officers gathered at the hospital, waiting for further information. Some families were very upset. There were a number of government officials at the scene to console and reassure them. One official interviewed said that he understood the family's feelings and that the rescue work for the deceased family would be carried out according to the highest specifications. In the Chinese bureaucratic system, employees and human lives aren't usually valued as much as they should be. In a safety accident that is very likely to be caused by the negligence of police themselves, the government mentality would be that the main responsibility lies with the police themselves. But this time, why did the government act as if it was indebted to the victim of the explosion and wanted to pay all the compensation according to the highest standard, apparently treating the victim as killed in the line of duty, and the families acted in a manner that seemed to show they were well deserved? Due to such oddities, it's hard not to question whether there is any hidden agenda behind the explosions. According to information hot off the Chinese web, a netizen claiming to be a local broke the news online that the real cause of the explosion was a vendor selling firecrackers who was upset about being repeatedly fined and punished. Out of desperation, the individual got hold of explosive kits somewhere, had firecrackers attached to them, and went to the police station with explosives on his back. He went in and lit them up. This rumor is difficult to independently verify, but it seems consistent with the situation of the explosion at the scene and the public opinion reality in mainland China, so it made sense logically and emotionally. Speaking of public opinion, even on China's web, the comments under the news seems overwhelmingly cheerful or gloating. So much so that it saddened and depressed many police officers. Why is this happening? It's because police have been seen rampant in the streets, hurting instead of serving common folks. Look, here are the police officers around Chinese New Year confiscating firecrackers from vendors and citizens. For the small vendors who can't find a way to make a living and are at the bottom of the social ladder, confiscating once could be disastrous. Maybe it means a medical bill can't be paid, children's school fees are robbed, or a family falls apart by poverty. Let's have another look. This police car is called Vicious. Suddenly, I saw a vicious car. Vicious indeed. Do you see the way it looks? It looks like an alien vehicle, is it not? You see the mirror can be adjusted every way. There are many angles. The scene below is somewhat wide. It's probably drafty in winter. Here the co-driver sits slightly behind. This chassis is a bit simple, but it has a big motor. It's electric, not gas-fueled. See? I feel that this vehicle is bulletproof. Look at its glass and the lighting. No matter what this vehicle is for, the gear is sufficiently tough. The doors are electric, the seam is a little big and definitely drafty. You have to admit this vehicle looks quite intimidating, and it has a camera system too. China's news has a trait. That is, what is officially hyped up isn't necessarily important, and what is officially low-key isn't necessarily trivial. The party media can make a simple matter so big that everyone knows about it, or even engages in it, or they can make a really serious issue so low-key that people don't even notice it, which is quickly forgotten. These explosions will soon be forgotten, except there will be more and more in the future. The more tyrannical a regime is, the more counterproductive force they'll be. This is the law. The communist regime will have to face the counterproductive force it has created and be devoured as fate has it.